Okay guys, welcome to episode 4. Oh, I got a couple of different scenarios here, right? Got this guy, which this one is, there's nothing wrong with the plate, but there is a variation in the coding which makes the signal walk across the screen. I got this guy, okay, who has a very thick coating. We'll turn it around and reveal it later on. And there is a signal that comes up beforehand, okay, that confuses a lot of people. I've got this guy who's got a different level of coating on him, plus a couple of different damage mechanisms. And then this guy's got a different surface texture and also a certain level of mill thickness, right? So a couple of different scenarios here. So let's talk about the first one. So I've heard everything since I've been doing this. So I've been giving the ISQ. I was the first one in Houston to do this in 2019. And I've heard so much over the years, like, man, Theo, I was told, you stay in standard mode, right? And then you just subtract 30 thousandths, some arbitrary figure number whenever you inspect it, no matter what. Okay, first off, well, let's talk about that. Remember, Theo's real big on setting the reference level, okay? Put a little bit of that couplant right there, okay? Hope I didn't move the camera too much to where you couldn't see. So put some of that couplant there, right? And now, whenever I scan this, again, this is the plate that has a variation in the coating thickness. There's actually nothing wrong with this plate. But as I scan, I can see, hey, I just went from 308, 306 to 323, okay, 330. I'm seeing it move back and forth a lot. Not a little bit, a lot. Look at that. You see the signal walking across the screen. So immediately you call wall loss. There's actually nothing wrong with this plate, guys. We actually created this plate. A lot of people say our plates are harder than the test, right? We did that on purpose. So we're gonna go to E to E here, okay? Calibration, just make sure cal's good, right? We saw it changing a lot. When you walk up to a coded component, you want to immediately throw it into echo to echo, okay? And I'm going to scan. Now, earlier we talked about that shear wave being a problem, especially with coded parts. So I'm going to run over here, run this to manual E to E, okay? Now, when we do for calibration purposes, I was messing with this earlier, if you guys remember. We want to make sure we blank out just what we need, okay? Because as we get thinner and thinner, you see how it ignored it, okay? So whenever we're scanning the actual, after we calibrate not E to E, run over to manual E to E. When we do that, we want to ensure that we only gate the signal out that we need, okay? So wave adjust, right? Bring this down, E1, okay? Catch that back wall right there, great job. Right, we're gonna hit enter, and we know we're on an E1 blank because, or an extension where it's blanking out the signal because of that little bar there. And now when I scan it, all right, so see I'm still picking up a little bit, so I'm gonna adjust that just a little bit. My apologies here, sorry, got way too much coupling on my hands. Now we're gonna see there isn't a whole lot of a change like earlier. Some of that's running back and forth, but it's more consistent. See that? We still see the signal moving, right? You still see that signal moving left to right. But the issue is, or actually the relief is, that there isn't a difference in the wall thickness, okay? So that's our first scenario. Scenario where there's nothing wrong with the part, but the coating thickness is wrong. Well, Theo, how could that happen? I don't know. Jose got drunk last night. I mean, let's look at another one. This is well, actually, I'm going to work our way up to this guy. So here we have a plate, right? different surface roughness, okay? It's roughly at about, I don't know, 1/2 inch thick, okay? So, again, anytime we come to a part, okay, we want to make sure we cal, okay, in auto E to E. And I only go to manual E to E if I absolutely have to, right? If there's no need, then there's no need, okay? Right here, we have a little bit of that entry surface. I don't really care about it, especially since I'm in auto E to E, right? But every now and then, it'll jump across, switching back and forth. When that's the case, we want to change that wave adjust, okay? And blank out that first signal there so it doesn't read it whenever I increase the gain. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring over my delay just a little bit. There we go. Because I don't care about what's going on before that, because that's the surface, and this is the area I'm really looking at, okay? So then I'm gonna scan, okay? Probably should put coupling. Looks like I'm running out of coupling, guys. We do accept donations, GoFundMes, you know, just saying. Okay. All right, I am going to use manual E to E just a little bit. So I can get past that signal there. Cool. So now I'm scanning, right? No issues. What I'm looking for with corrosion is I'm looking for me to lose that back wall. Now here I have a really nice general thinning, okay? It's a really nice general thinning. It doesn't look like I would need to utilize, see how that secondary back wall's moving in? I'm not gonna need to utilize one of the steps I was getting ready to show you. This one in auto E to E, it looks like this is a nice, you know, general thinning situation. Okay, we kept that secondary back wall. It's moving back and forth. It's reading between the echoes. This is a nice general thinning. We read it as is, okay? We're gonna move ahead and move to this guy. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is make sure we go to auto E to E, okay? And when we're scanning, right, I want to make sure I'm scanning when I'm looking for two things. First thing I'm looking for is for the signal to shift to the left like so, and then I'm also looking for that gate to shoot far to the right. That lets me know I have corrosion present. So the first thing I want to do is stay in E to E, go to good base metal right outside where I saw the flaw, okay? And I'm going to record that 487. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to use my hand. Okay, and then right where I'm at 487, I'm going to go standard mode, 494, 495. All right, so that's give or take roughly about 9 thou, right? Actually, yeah. Not 9 thou, 10 thou, somewhere in there. Okay, so I'm gonna stay in standard mode, and I'm gonna walk into this flaw to try to get the lowest I possibly can, the lowest number I possibly can. I'm not watching the numerical value on the screen. I'm watching that leading edge echo. Saw 416, I'm not really seeing anything after that. There it is, 414, 415, 416. I'm gonna go 414. All right, 414 minus 9 thou, right? Yeah, 414 minus, 9 thou, we're probably, or 8 thou, we're roughly around 405. This plate is RISP009. I go find the plate. And here we see it's an erosion type indication with a flaw depth remaining of 400 thou. So we took the coating thickness subtracted by the substrate and we got about 405. So we're within the tolerance, okay? So that would have been graded as a correct identification, as a wall loss type indication, as well as the sizing or the depth, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is what if the coating thickness is extremely thick, all right? So I cut this sample, right, so that you could see the thickness here. So the thicker this thickness gets, so according to the ASNT rule exams, this can go up to 50 mils. So we went to the max. You are staring at 50 mils, okay? This side here it just got a little bit of corrosion on it. But anyhow, we cut it so that you could see that, right? Now watch what happens whenever I stick it on, when I stick my transducer on this coated part. Okay, so wait a minute. We've got one signal popping up at about 200 thou, right? We got another signal further in time, give or take, this is roughly about an inch, okay? So what's going on here? What you're looking at from that entry surface to that echo right there is that interface, guys. Yeah, think of it like a delay line, okay? That is our first interface. So what we're gonna do is two things. Number one, I am gonna use my wave adjust. So it doesn't read it. Then, because this is coded, I'm going to auto E to E, right? And then I don't care about from here to there, right? So second function delay, get gone somewhere, right? Don't care about that side. Now it looks more or less like what I'm looking for, right? So, or what I'm used to seeing. Okay, so we're gonna increase some gain here, cool, and we're scanning. Put a little bit more couplant, okay, and we're oh, there it is, right there, quick identifier. Signal shifts to the left, right? Gate shoots all the way to the right. Grab your paper, write a W, it's wall loss all day. No need to even think about it, okay? As soon as we see that, it's wall loss. But now we got to get the sizing right? So wherever I find where it moves, like I see it there, okay? I'm gonna go 763, right? Write that down, standard mode, 980, right? Which is roughly at about that 221 thousandths or 222 thousandths we saw earlier in standard mode, right? So essentially now in standard mode, whenever I'm scanning, I'm going to subtract that 200 value, right? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up some of that gain, and I'm going to change my range now because I know that it's wall loss. I want to make sure I'm focusing in on that signal. Increase some of that gain right there. That, again, we're gonna blank that out. That's just some noise. Let's get past it. Let's move on with our lives, okay? Increase some gain. All right, after we increase that gain, I don't need to see this, so I can go ahead and blank that out as well, right? Okay, once I blank that out, all the way off the screen. Cool. Start searching. Okay, that's more noise. We're up at that 870 value. So now we're going to take that 870 value, okay, and subtract it from that 222 value that we had earlier. All right, we're just going to keep math, you know, keep it simple. 870 instead of 222, we're going to do 220. That gives us about 650-ish, okay? Don't kill me. This is plate number 34. Okay, here's plate number 34. Remaining wall is 0.654. Okay, so all we did again, found out what the subtracted the substrate thickness and auto E to E from the coating thickness in standard mode. Stayed in standard mode, found the lowest flaw, right, or the lowest area we could possibly find, and then subtract that delta difference between the substrate and the coating, and that gave us our true remaining wall thickness. Okay, real simple process. Now, here's the last one I'm gonna do. You're like, Theo, I don't have any coated parts. You know, I don't have any of that, man. I got this one plate at the office. You know, they got like 5 plates they want me to scan on. Like, bro, help me. Go talk to the x-ray techs. This is what you need, my brother. Piece of film. That's all you need right here. It's gonna act like coating, okay? And I'm gonna show you how you do it. You go get one of them plates your employer spot. You go get one of them plates your employer got you, right? Put some coupling and you grab that piece of film and you slap that boy on there like a sandwich, okay? Put it on there. Don't worry about it. Don't be scared, okay? If you're scared, get out of NDT, okay? There's a lot of scary things out there. No, I'm kidding. All right, put some more of that coupling on there. All right, rub it around in there, okay? This is a PG-13 video, just so you know, okay? All right, after you get it on there, you're gonna do the exact same thing I just told you, right? You're gonna start. First, let's get all this delay and stuff off. Start from scratch, okay? Get that wave adjust off the screen, okay? Boom. Right? Auto E to E. Beautiful. Grab the cowl block, cowl up and auto E to E. You need to practice seeing the difference in the signal. That's what you need to practice, okay? Boom. Auto E to E is good. You're scanning auto E to E. Everything is fine. There's no worries. All right, so obviously I've got a little bit of an issue with that shear wave popping up. Or actually that's from the film, but you get the point. So I'm gonna bring this gain down just a little bit. Cool. Reference. Scan. I'm scanning. There it is. You saw the shift. There's the movement right there. Okay, so what I want to do, right here, increase a little bit of gain. All right, auto E to E. I'm gonna write that 375 reading down. Again, if all that jumping around bothers you, dude, just go to setup menu. Just go to second function zoom, manual E to E, down arrow, blank out the signal you don't want, right? And then now it's not gonna read it, okay? Boom, see the shift in the signal? We're good. All right, so 375. So I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna write that down somewhere. And then I'm gonna go to standard mode, okay? And I'm gonna write that number down in the exact same spot, okay? Just outside of the corrosion. Okay, 375, write 375 down. Go to zoom, go to standard. I got 401, 402. So 402 from 375 is 27 thousandths. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring that gain down, right? And I'm gonna go scan, looking for that flaw. Hey, look, now I'm getting a reading, right? All right, so I'm gonna try to get the lowest number I possibly can. Now you can always, guys, change that measuring rate to a little bit of a slower speed if you feel like it's jumping too fast at you. So, and in standard mode, for it to read, it's gotta be above 20%, remember, right? So we got roughly 270, 269. We got a little bit of that noise right there. No worries. We'll blank that guy out. Cool. It looks like 269 was the lowest. Yeah. 270. I'm gonna go 270. All right, 270 minus the 27 thousandths we talked about earlier is gonna take us to roughly, I'm sorry, brain fart. Yeah, 27 thousandths will take us to roughly like 243. Okay. So now we're gonna take a look. This is plate number 20. And it's up in the top left-hand corner, plate 20. Okay. 242. Okay. So again, guys, if you don't have coated plates and you're like, dang Theo, I can't practice that, dude, go grab a piece of RT film, right? It's the same concept. You got to do the deltas. It's the same thing whether it's painted or not, okay? It's the same principle. So make sure you go grab one of those, okay?